Every empire hides a secret weapon. Not armies, not gold, but paper, a promise conjured from nothing. At first, it feels like a miracle. Soldiers are paid, bread is bought, streets are calm. A man walks to the market, silver in hand. Heavy, certain, he buys a loaf of bread. Years later, he returns. The same coins buy less. His basket feels lighter. Then one day, silver is gone, replaced by fragile paper stamped with royal seals. Rulers call it progress. People call it money. The press is thunder. Politicians cheer. Crowds believe. It feels free. But beneath the surface, a thief awakens. Inflation. Not a crash, but erosion. Coin by coin. Loaf by loaf. A gift that becomes a trap. Once rulers taste the press, they cannot stop. At first, it feels like rescue. A war to fund, a crisis to escape, a crowd to calm. They print, the pain fades, the people cheer. But every note is weaker than the last. Relief turns to hunger, savings vanish, hope thins. Still they print, again and again. Like a drug, one dose buys time, the next demands more. The machine devours the people. Bread costs more, wages buy less, trust dissolves. The rulers cling tighter, the presses roar louder. And the people, they discover too late. The paper in their hands is not wealth. It is poison. Germany, 1921. The empire defeated, the war lost. But the debts remain, mountains of them. Years of borrowing to fuel the guns. Then the Versailles Treaty, reparations in gold, coal, and cash. A bill too heavy for a broken nation. The treasury bleeds. Deficits grow. The government cannot pay. And so, it turns to the presses. The Reichsbank prints, buying its own debt with paper. At first, relief, salaries flow, reparations met, markets stir. But beneath the surface, something stirs darker. The mark begins to slip. A loaf costs 1 mark, then 10, then 100. By 1923, collapse. Families burn notes for heat. Children stack cash like toys. Workers rush to spend wages before nightfall, for by dawn, half their value is gone. Savings dissolve. Trust evaporates. And in the ruins, chaos. The people cry for salvation, for order, for strong hands. And what comes next will be darker than inflation itself. Decades later, the pattern repeats. Zimbabwe, 2000s. Years of reckless spending, land seizures, and corruption shatter the economy. Tax revenues collapse. The government cannot fund itself, so it turns to the presses. Trillions of notes flood the streets. At first, salaries are paid. The illusion of stability returns. But soon, a loaf of bread costs millions. Shops demand wheelbarrows of cash. Savings turn to dust. Families starve. Society unravels. Across the ocean, Venezuela faces its own reckoning. Oil wealth squandered. Budgets drained. Deficits rise. And again, the same solution. Print. Propaganda hails it as rescue. But shelves empty. Lines stretch for miles. Medicine vanishes. People flee their homeland in despair. The pattern is undeniable. Every crisis, the same cure. Every cure, the same poison. Where rulers cling to easy money, the people inherit ruin. And the question grows louder. If it happened there, could it happen here? Comment below. Easy money is never sold as greed. It is sold as survival. In wartime, rulers face impossible choices. Raise taxes and spark revolt, or print and hide the cost. The presses always win. From Napoleon's France to modern America, wars are waged not just with soldiers, but with paper. Crises, recessions, pandemics. Each becomes a reason to print more. Propaganda hails it as rescue. Leaders gain power, citizens lose trust. The system tilts, rulers command, presses obey, people suffer. And always, the question lingers. How long before the illusion shatters? When money loses its anchor, society begins to drift. Inflation creeps into every home. Savings evaporate. Families break. Trust dissolves. It is not just wealth that dies, but the moral fabric itself. Easy money does not build nations. It corrupts them from within. This is the true cost of the fiat trap. Not just broken banks, but broken souls. Every empire believes it can escape history. None ever has. The question is no longer if, but when. And when that moment comes, where will you stand? In the ruins of the old, or in the dawn of what comes next?